Hello. Good evening.
Sir,
Good evening.
good evening, very good evening, sir.
How are you?
Am I,
Fine, fine. Can you, sir?
am I
Are
audible, sir? Am I audible?
yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes. So, Professor Anthony, are you there?
Please unmute.
Professor Anthony? Hello. Yeah, Professor Pranjal, good evening.
Good evening.
Professor Anthony, are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Yeah.
Very much. Can you
Yeah.
hear me?
Yeah, we
Yes,
can hear
yes,
you.
yes. I'm
So, without delay, we let us start the proceedings. Professor Arvinder is here, has joined. Professor Arvinder?
I don't think she is here. I think she told me that she has a program now, but she will join. Perhaps
Okay,
maybe
fine,
a little late. Yeah.
fine.
Okay.
So, Professor Anand Kumar has written about that he will join around 8 o'clock. So you can keep him last.
Fine, fine. Okay.
Please note down so that he is also the last. He will be the last speaker.
I will do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So good evening. Let me formally start this program. Good evening, dear esteemed life members of Indian Sociological Society, seniors, managing committee members. We have assembled here today on behalf of Indian Sociological Society to celebrate the works and life of Professor PKB Nayar, who was an institution builder
Can they hear you?
and also
No,
the
you.
former president of Indian Sociological Society, who passed away recently at a very, he was keeping good health, but he passed away at a very age which is not expected in among by all of us, so that he has a very interaction and meeting on online mode to remember our former president and also a great institution builder and a scholar who happened to contribute consistently for the discipline of society, not in the state of Kerala, but also in the northeastern states, like, even to be more precise, at the university that is
Dibrugarh.
Professor Sahu, I'm not able to hear you properly.
establishing the discipline and
Yeah.
the Department of Sociology in northeastern states of India, particularly at the university level. So, without spending much time, we'd like to listen to many scholars, many sociologists who would like to speak about his contribution, speak about his scholarly work. So, on behalf of the society, I welcome all of you to this gathering where we would like to interact, we'd like to discuss about the contributions of Professor PKB Nair. And I'm really thankful to Professor Anthony Palakal to accept our invitation to moderate this session. And I'm also very happy that many of our managing committee members, research committee conveners, and many of our life members are also present on this platform. So thank you very much. So over to Professor Anthony. You can invite Professor Arminder, the Secretary of Indian Social Society, or you can start with the senior people. And now over to Professor Anthony. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor D.R. Sahu. I think Arvinder might join a little late. So we shall
Right.
start the session with other
Right.
speakers.
I have joined. I have
Oh, you are
joined.
here. Oh, okay, you are here. Fine.
Right.
I think let Aravinder
I-
propose the vote of thanks, and then at that time make
Yeah,
your
yeah.
remarks.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Okay.
am also,
Fine.
Dr. Anthony, I am also here.
I know. I saw you. I saw you, Professor
Okay,
Taramai.
okay,
Yes.
okay.
Yes. So let me begin our session and set the platform
Yeah.
for our sharing. So my dear distinguished President, the Secretary, Managing Committee members, and conveners of the research committees, and fellow members of the Indian Sociological Society, colleagues, and my dear friends. At the outset, let me express my sincere gratitude to Professor Sahu, the President of the ISS, and all the office bearers of the Society for this opportunity. I consider it a profound honor and privilege to moderate this session. We gather today to celebrate the extraordinary life and legacy of Professor P.K.B. Nayar. We are especially honored to have with us Professor Nayar's daughters, Dr. Shobha B. Nayar, formerly professor and head of the Department of Sociology at the University of Kerala, and Mrs. Sheila B. Nayar, a senior officer of the university, and some of their close relatives and friends. As you know, the past month has perhaps been one of the darkest periods of the Indian sociological fraternity, as we have lost a few of our most distinguished senior members. Among them, Professor Nayar was the senior most, passing away at the age of 96. A former president of our society, he was a founding pillar of the departments of sociology at the University of Kerala and Dribugar University in Assam. Most significantly, he was the founding president of the Kerala Sociological Society. Undoubtedly, Professor Nayar's academic life was defined by an extraordinary commitment to institutional building and pedagogical excellence. Despite his staggering academic credentials, including 5 master's degrees and a PhD from the University of Pittsburgh, he remained remarkably grounded. He consistently championed a version of sociology that was deeply connected to the people and the fabric of society. Beyond his impressive institutional footprint, Professor Nayar was a scholar who truly walked the talk. He was a pioneer in gerontology at a time when few were addressing the challenges of our aging population. He founded the Center for Gerontological Studies, one of the first of its kind in the state of Kerala. He famously challenged top-down social policies, reminding us that if our research does not start with the lived realities of people, it lacks true value. While his absence is a profound loss, we remain richer for the institutions he built and the generations of students who carry his vision forward. On a personal note, while I did not have the fortune of being his direct student, my own teacher and guide, Professor Jacob John Kattakayam, was his beloved scholar and held him in the highest regard as a mentor. We, nearly 40 scholars of Professor Kattakayam, inherited a special academic affinity for Professor Nayar. As the senior-most faculty and the chief builder of our discipline in the state, the Kerala Sociological Fraternity cherishes a special reverence and pride in his legacy. We have planned this memorial session for 1 hour. We will begin with a few of our senior members who will share their fond memories of Professor P.K.B. Nayar and offer their appreciation of his scholarship and leadership. Please restrict to 5 to 7 minutes your sharing. Following these invited tributes, we will open the floor to all other participants to share your sentiments and personal reflections briefly on how Professor Nayar touched your lives and academic journeys. With this introduction and having set the platform for a deeper sharing of our collective memories, I now invite Professor L. Tharabai, formerly Professor and Head, Madurai Kamaraj University. Professor Tharabai, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Can
yes,
you hear?
yes, we can. Yeah.
Dear Professor Sahu, Dr. Anthony, my colleagues, Dr. P.K.B. Nayar's relatives, and dear friends. I stand before you today with a heavy heart to remember and honor Dr. P.K.B. Nayar, not only a distinguished sociologist and academician, but also a person who touched the lives of many with his simplicity, kindness, and wisdom. These are his particular characteristics. It's very simple. I had the privilege of knowing him for nearly 5 decades. I think I know him for from 1972 onwards. I know him very well as a student and later as a colleague. He was a mentor and a guiding light in the field of sociology. His scholarship was remarkable, but what made him truly special was his humility and deep concern for society. He played a pivotal role in the development of the Department of Sociology, as Dr. Anthony said, at the University of Kerala. As one of its early faculty members, he contributed significantly in building up the department into a vibrant center of teaching, learning, and research. And we have to appreciate for this because he started and he promoted, he inspired many of us. His academic vision extended beyond the conventional boundaries of the discipline. He was instrumental in initiating and establishing the Department of Women's Studies in Kerala University. And also we can say that he has because he has, I'm not telling that because he has done only the women's studies, but the classical example is that he started the women's studies and reflects his deep commitment to social justice and gender equality. Professor Nayar also demonstrated remarkable foresight in recognizing the emerging social challenges associated with population aging in Kerala. That is another landmark as far as the sociology is concerned, the branches of sociology is concerned, and also Dr. Nayar, who has got long vision, he has got a vision. He has got a vision and he started population aging in Kerala. Everybody knows that how population, and especially in Kerala, it was growing up. Long before the issue received the attention of academicians and the policymakers, Dr. Nayar emphasized the importance of studying aging and gerontology. And actually, I was also in the team and we started gerontology, and he was actually the inspirational force for the gerontological studies. His efforts actually led to the establishment of Center for Gerontological Studies. And Center for Gerontological Studies was a very good academic center for students of population, for students of sociology, and also for the students of all social scientists. And it received, of course, the Center for Sociological Studies, Gerontological Studies, got the recognition of many of the government and non-government institutions in India and elsewhere in the world. And I can tell you that even UNO recognized the Center for Gerontological Studies. And our national bodies like UGC, ICSSR, and other bodies also recognized the Center for Gerontological Studies. Despite his academic stature and accomplishment, Professor Nayar remained an exceptionally simple and approachable individual. One of the characteristic and one of the important characteristic features of Professor Nayar is his simplicity. So simple, though he is an expert, he is an academician of par excellence, he is very simple and approachable individual. Students, colleagues, staff, alike found in him a mentor and a wise counselor. We used to go several times to him to get the advice, and he used to give the proper advice, counselor. I have personally witnessed the deep affection and respect that the students he supervised had for him. And I would say that, and Anthony has already said, one such example is late Dr. John Jacob Katakayam, who always regarded, and Katakayam was a close friend of mine. He always regarded Professor Nayar not merely as his academic supervisor, but as a father figure. Dr. Nayar's office was always open to everyone seeking guidance, and his interaction were marked by patience, kindness, and encouragement. Even after his former retirement, this I have to tell you because I'm associated with him during this time. Even after his former retirement, Professor Nayar continued to remain intellectually active and committed to public service. His association with the government of Kerala, particularly in the revenue department, reflected his willingness to contribute his knowledge and experience for the larger good of society. And in fact, we have to see that at the age of 90, because he celebrated 90 years when we were in Kerala government. So even at his age, at that age, he was ready to go to the field and get the field work done, etc., etc. Dr. Nayar lived a life of dignity, integrity, and compassion. With his passing, Kerala has lost a great sociologist and an even greater human being. On this solemn occasion, I join all of you in paying heartfelt respects to Professor P.K.B. Nayar and in conveying deepest condolences to his family, especially Shobha, Sheila, etc., colleagues, students, and all those who lives he touched. And I remember the many students was telling about Dr. Nayar's positive things, because Kerala has produced many sociology, but he is a different person from all the others. May his noble soul rest in eternal peace. Thank you so much. Dr. Anthony?
Okay. Thank you, Professor Tarabhai, for your very personal and affectionate, sharing your personal and affectionate memories. Now, Professor Anand Kumar, are you here? Oh, no, he will come later. Yes, Professor Nagla. Professor Nagla, are you here, Professor Nagla?
Yeah.
Yes, Professor Nagla. Very good
Okay,
morning
okay.
to you.
Thank you,
Although
thank
it is
you.
evening here.
Yeah.
Good morning to you as you are in
Good morning,
Toronto.
good morning.
Yes. Please.
Okay, friends, today we have gathered to remember and pay our heartfelt tribute to PKB Nayar, a distinguished sociologist, respected teacher, and institution builder whose life and work made an enduring contribution to the development of sociology in India. Indian sociology has lost one of its most eminent scholar with his passing on 12th February 2026 in Thiruvananthapuram at the age of 96 by cerebral hemorrhage. With his passing, we have lost not only a distinguished sociologist, but also a thoughtful intellectual, an institution builder, and a generous colleague. Professor Nayar was born on 18th December 1929 in Trikura. Over the course of a long and remarkable academic career, he emerged as one of India's most respected sociologists and a pioneering scholar in the field of gerontology. At a time when the sociological study of aging was still relatively neglected in India, Professor Nayar brought sustained scholarly attention to the social, economic, and policy concerns of the elderly. An exceptionally accomplished scholar, he earned 5 master's degrees in sociology, economics, economic development, political science, history, 3 from India and 2 from the United States, and later completed his PhD in sociology from the University of Pittsburgh in 1966. During his 42 years of service as a university teacher, Professor Nayar made an important contribution to the development of sociology as a discipline. He served as head of the Department of Sociology at Dibrugarh University and the University of Kerala. At the University of Kerala, he also served as Dean of the Faculty of Social Sciences and held several other academic responsibilities. Through his leadership and scholarship, he helped strengthen sociology both in Kerala and in India's Northeast. He also provided important leadership to the wider sociological community. He served as a president of the Indian Sociological Society and was the founder president of the it is just disturbed. He served as a president of the Indian Sociological Society and was the founder president of the Kerala Sociological Society. His academic reputation extended internationally as well, and he served as the visiting professor at the University of Paris and as a Fulbright visiting professor in the United States. Professor Nayar was also a prolific writer. His books and research papers address important themes such as bureaucracy, development, widowhood, aging, and social policy in India. His work on aging and the condition of the older person in Indian society remain especially significant. In his writing on aging policy, he often pointed out that despite national and state policies for senior citizens, the elderly had benefited only marginally. He attributed this gap largely to bureaucratic, top-down approaches to planning and argued strongly for participatory, community-based approaches that take into account the lived realities of people. On my personal experiences, I had the privilege of interacting with Professor Nayar on several occasions at seminar, conference, and personal meetings. I also had the opportunity to visit his home in the Thiruvananthapuram when Professor Palekal took us to his home in the evening when the All India conference was held at Thiruvananthapuram. What impressed me most was his extraordinary clarity of thought and the remarkable agility of mind and body that he retained even at an advanced stage. I particularly remember the occasion of All India Sociological Conference held in Udaipur. During that conference, we had the opportunity to jointly chair and speak in a post-conference academic interaction in the adjoining historic region of Chittorgarh. We discussed contemporary social issues and their wider sociological implications. I still recall the seriousness and enthusiasm with which he engaged in the discussion. For me, it was a memorable experience of intellectual companionship. Whenever he invited me to contribute, I wrote articles for the Journal of Kerala Sociological Society, which he edited with great dedication and scholarly commitment. We also had the honor of publishing his interview conducted by Professor Shobha B. Nayar in the ISS Hindi journal Bharati Samajshastra Samiksha, which I was editing at that time. These interactions reflected not only his academic stature but also his generosity toward fellow scholars. Professor Nayar combined intellectual rigor with institutional vision. He remained progressive and secular in his outlook and was always supportive of younger scholars and colleagues. Those who interacted with him remember not only his scholarship but also his warmth, humility, and openness to dialogue. The recent passing of Naresh Bhargav Andhra Bete had already been a moment of great loss for Indian sociology. With the passing of Professor P.K.B. Nayar, The discipline has suffered yet another profound loss. In remembering Professor Nayar today, we are reminded that the true measure of a scholar lies not only in the publication or position, but in the intellectual paths they open and the people they inspire. His life exemplified dedication to scholarship, commitment to institutions, and a deep concern for the social realities of our society. While we mourn his passing, we also celebrate a life richly lived in the service of sociology and society. His legacy will continue to inspire future generation of scholars. I am thankful to Professor Sahu and Professor Palekal who have given me chance to speak and to share my views. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Nagla. I know that you cherished a very close bond with Professor Nayar, and you have expressed your sentiments and deep appreciation for Professor Nayar here. Thank you very much. Now, may I invite Professor Pranjal Sharma, professor at Dilburga University. Professor Pranjal. Hello. Hello. Hello, can you hear me? Professor, he was here. He had joined.
Is there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you hear? Hello. Yes.
Am I audible? Am I audible?
There
Yes,
is an echo. So you have to exit from one device. You have joined from two devices.
Now is it all right?
Still echoing.
Still echoing.
You have logged in from two devices. Just log in from one device.
No, I have log in for only one only.
Your name is
Just I will. Is it all right now?
it's echoing.
Professor Pranjal, you have to only.
Is it okay?
Then there are 2-3 system is on. I believe.
No, only one system. Is it all right now?
Yes.
All right.
Those who have switched on their mics, please switch off. Other than Professor Pranjal.
Yes.
Yeah. Arabhai, Professor. Okay.
Is it okay now?
Please speak.
Yes. Respected Chair, Honorable President ISS, Secretary ISS, esteemed family members of Professor PKV Nayar, and all the distinguished scholars present in this August gathering. I am honored to get this opportunity to speak a few words in this online memorial meeting of distinguished sociologist Professor PKV Nayar, organized by the Indian Sociological Society today. At the outset, I offer my sincere tribute to Professor PKV Nayar to remember and honor his immense contribution to the discipline and to the society. Professor Nayar, who left us at the age of 96 years on 12 February 2026, he was a renowned sociologist. He is a pioneer figure in the fields of gerontology, women's studies, population studies, health sciences, and management. As all the earlier speakers have already said, that he holds 5 master degrees with diverse knowledge field and a PhD from University of Pittsburgh, USA. Now I would like to remember him as the founder member and head Department of Sociology, Dibrugarh University, Assam, where I teach at present. Perhaps this is the first sociology department in the entire eastern region. He served in this department for 2 years and he established the discipline for the first time in Northeast in the year 1967. I had visited him whenever I went to Kerala. I will always remember his help and guidance. He will be greatly missed by everyone. He has also the architect and head of the Department of Sociology at University of Kerala, where he served for more than 21 years. He founded Kerala Sociological Society, established the journal Kerala Sociologist, the Journal of Kerala Sociological Society. He was also the founder of Indian Association of Social Sciences and Health. His leadership was extended to national and international levels. Professor Nayar served as the president of Indian Sociological Society from 2006 to 2007. During his presidency, he had organized 2 refresher courses for young sociologists. All India Sociological Conference was held in the University of Kerala in the year 2000 and 2019, where he was one of the active and guiding persons. In 1983, he established India's first UGC-backed Center for Women Studies, followed by Center for Gerontological Studies. His book, Sociology in India, Problems and Promises, is considered a seminal work in the field. His other important books are Sociology of India,
Professor Anthony, please
Human Rights,
request Professor Pranjal to stop this.
Yeah,
Not
okay.
in a position to order.
Okay.
Human Rights of Older
Professor
Persons.
Panjal, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's your this is too much of disturbance, and we
Yeah.
are not able to hear you properly. There is a very high echo going simultaneously.
Yes, sir.
So maybe let's see if we can, continue after some time. There is some problem with your mic or,
I will log off and continue again.
For the time being, we will, stop
I will
here.
see.
Later, we will see if,
Yeah.
if your connectivity becomes much clearer. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry that we are not able to hear Professor Panchal properly. We will see if we can hear him later sometime. And now let me invite Professor Joni, who was a professor at Guruvayurpan College, and later the founding coordinator of the Department of Sociology at Malayalam University in Kerala. I invite Joni sir, to speak a few words. Professor Joni, can you hear me? Professor Joni sir? He was present here. Hello.
Yes. Can you hear me now?
Yes. We can hear you.
Yes,
We can hear you. Please.
Yes,
Please.
thank you. Okay, dear respected members of the forum, PKB sir was my teacher who meticulously supervised my PhD research.
Professor
during
Joni,
the
we would like
80s.
to see you if we can switch on your video.
I can't get it. Professor.
Oh, okay, fine. No, go ahead. Please go ahead. Yes.
Yes, my PhD research during the 80s. My memories about my acquaintance with the great personality is quite nostalgic. He was a father figure to me. He was my mentor. He was quite humanistic in dealing with the affairs of his wards. His academic acumen, his organizing capacity, his knowledge level, etc., were wholeheartedly appreciated by people associated with him. His sudden departure creates a hiatus in the academic scenario of social sciences, particularly sociology. May his soul rest in eternal peace. Thank you all. Professor Anthony? Professor Anthony?
Professor Anthony, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Yuti, now we have, I was trying to contact the next speaker.
Professor
He
Anand
was
Kumar
fighting
is there. Professor Anand
Professor,
Kumar.
Professor Anand Kumar is there? Okay, okay. Yeah. So, Professor Anand Kumar. Professor Anand Kumar, thank you, Professor Joni, for your, very, very affectionate sharing about Professor PKB Nayar, your teacher and mentor. Now, Professor Anand Kumar.
Thank you, Professor Anthony Palakal and Professor Arvinder Ansari. I had the privilege of working with Professor PKB Nayar as Secretary of the Indian Sociological Society. It was a very intense period of learning from him, and he was a totally dedicated sociologist of India. Of India means, for him, Kerala was just a home. He worked in Northeast, and he was known to the senior most sociologists of his time, though he maintained a very low profile. When he was our president, I saw him conducting the meetings of the Indian Sociological Society Managing Committee. I saw him presiding over the National Convention of Indian Sociologists in Chennai and Dharwad. I also saw him representing Indian Sociology Society International Conference, International Social Association Conference in South Africa. He was a self-confident man, but he was a modest man. He will be a man who spoke little, but when he spoke, he was very effective. I found him innovative and inclusive. Our treasurer was Professor Boite, who was senior to us in terms of the contribution to Indian Sociological Society. Though age-wise, Professor Nayar was slightly older. But he requested Professor Boite to take initiatives on his own. He was not very authoritarian. He enjoyed our company. I never found that I was working with somebody who was far ahead of me in terms of authority and legitimacy. And he was always very consultative, very inclusive. He had every right to be taking decisions, but every decision he took had my input, my agreement or disagreement. I belong to a different generation. I'm more of an activist. I engage in public debates. Professor Nayar was just opposite. He was very introvert, very self-effacing, shy of publicity. That made him a good president. I'm very satisfied to join all of you. I thank the Indian Sociological Society and its leadership, which has listed 6 eminent sociologists to be remembered in this period of a week or 10 days. Unless we remember the contribution of our seniors, we will not be able to move further. Professor Nayar served Indian Sociological Society to the best of his capacity, but he also contributed to the institution building of Kerala Sociological Society. Look at the journal, outstanding. Look at the number of people he guided and he led, including John Kattakayam, who became president and secretary of the society, Anthony, and many others. I had the privilege of visiting him at his home, meeting his daughters, and very recently he called me up and I was so surprised. He said, I'm planning a reader and you have to write a chapter. I said, Professor Nayar, you must give some rest to your body. Yes, that is the best way to take rest, because I'll be having some responsibility to work for. And before the book could be completed, he passed away. But he was a man of action. He was a contributor to the making of Indian sociology. And I remember him with great humility and modesty. I thank him for his leadership, for his guidance, for his scholarship. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Anant Kumar. It was a great sharing. Thank you very much. Very personal and at the same time professional.
Professor Palekal, I think now my system is all right. I'm just talking from telephone.
Okay, fine. Okay, then you may please
Okay.
share your thoughts, perhaps
Okay.
maybe from maybe
Yeah,
short.
Yes, I'm sorry that there are some disturbances, some in connection. So, good evening, respected Chair, Honorable President ISS, Secretary ISS, esteemed family members of Professor P.K.V. Nayar, and all the distinguished scholars present in this August gathering. I am honored to get this opportunity to speak a few words in this online memorial meeting of distinguished sociologist Professor P.K.V. Nayar, sir, organized by Indian Sociological Society today. At the outset, I offer my sincere tribute to Professor P.K.V. Nayar to remember and honor his immense contributions to the discipline of sociology and to the society. We all know he left us at the age of 96 years. He was a renowned sociologist, a pioneer figure in the field of gerontology, women's studies, population studies, health sciences, and management. All the earlier speakers have already spoken that he got 5 master degrees and that holds diverse knowledge. And his PhD is from Pittsburgh University, USA. Now I would like to remember him as the founder member and the head department of sociology, Dibrugarh University, Assam, where I teach at present. Perhaps this is the first sociology department in the entire Eastern region. He served in this department for 2 years and established the discipline for the first time in the Northeast region in the year 1967. His simplicity and scholarship will always be remembered. I had visited him whenever I went to Kerala. I will always remember his help and guidance. He will be greatly missed by everyone. He was also the architect and head of the Department of Sociology at University of Kerala, where he served for more than 21 years. He founded Kerala Sociological Society and established the journal Kerala Sociologist, where many young scholars and academicians have contributed papers, articles in the known journal. His leadership was extended to national and international level. He was also the founder of Indian Association of Social Sciences and Health. Professor Nayar served as the president of Indian Sociological Society from 2006 to 2007. During his presidency, he had organized 2 refresher courses for young sociologists as well. All India Sociological Conference was held in the University of Kerala for 2 occasions, in the year 2000 and in the year 2019, where he was one of the active and guiding persons. In 1983, he established India's first UGC-backed Center for the Women's Studies, followed by Center for Gerontological Studies. His book, Sociology in India, Problems and Prospects, Problems and Promises, is considered as a seminal work in the field. Other important books are Sociology in India, Human Rights of Older Persons in Asia Pacific region, Older Women in India, The Context issues and the concerns, widowhood in modern India, and leadership, bureaucracy, and planning in India, a sociological study. He served as consultant for many organizations like World Bank, WHO, ILO, United Nations, FAO, that is Food and Agriculture Organization of United States. He also served as management consultant at the United States Agency for International Development. He attended the World Assembly of Aging in Vienna and attended many conferences of ISA in different positions all over the world. Professor Nayar was a visiting professor at the University of Paris, also in USA. So far the awards are concerned, in 2011 he got the Lifetime Achievement Award of Indian Sociological Society. He was a recipient of Golden Award from HelpAge India for his work and research on senior citizens. In 2014 he was awarded the prestigious Bayu Shrestha Sanman, that is Lifetime Achievement by the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, Government of India, on October 1st, 2014, for his excellent work in the field of aging. This is the highest award in aging. His contribution for social welfare activities, along with the innovative age-friendly Gram Panchayat project, was very interesting and deeply penetrating in the society. The project has been implemented in 7 Gram Panchayats in 2 districts of Kerala. Professor Nayar, sir, wanted it to extend the program to the entire state of Kerala for age-friendly notion. His wife, late K. Indra Devi, died a few years ago. He is survived by his daughters, 2 daughters, Shobha B. Nayar, also a sociologist, and Sheila B. Nayar. His residence is in Kochulur near Kerala Medical College. In short, Professor P.K.B. Nayar was an eminent and distinguished sociologist of India, known for his effort related to aged population of India. His understanding of the discipline of sociology is great. He had achieved many milestones. He thinks sociology play a crucial role in understanding society and social change. He believed the discipline of sociology is still underrepresented, especially in policy making, teaching, and research finding. He felt many remarkable articles of sociology are not yet properly cited or indexed in academic field. He always suggested for bringing sociology with collaboration with different government research department and to have industries academia relationship for policy planning. He recommended that new theoretical framework should be developed to analyze the modern world. At last, his personality and contributions cannot be highlighted in such a short period. It was my humble effort to pay homage to him, and please pardon me for any omission or mistake. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Pranjal. You also gave a kind of, detailed, detailed academic, contributions of Professor PKB. Thank you very much. Now we have, hello, Dr. P.M. Nayar, IPS. He is a retired DGP. He was traveling in the Northeast. I suppose, Professor. Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
You
I
can,
can hear
okay,
you.
okay, please.
Namaste to all, respected senior colleagues and erudite professors. It's an honor to speak about Professor P.K.B. Nayar. He was my guru and mentor. I did my sociology under him. And I will only take 2-3 minutes with 3 anecdotes. First and foremost, after doing MA under him, it was not just learning or he was teaching. He was much more. He was a mentor. All the students there, each one having something, he would have given personal attention to them. When I did my appeared for the civil service examination in immediately after that, I was surprised to find I got 89% sociology. I went back to and told him, sir, my sociology is only because of you. I used to listen to every word he says and note down in a small notebook. And that gave me very high ranking in my my examination. My first attempt itself, I could join the police service. Second anecdote is, as a police officer, you could do rational, rights-based policing completely without not even one element of torture anywhere. That's because I learned that the art of sociology, especially social psychology, which he taught us. It was very much in my mind. All the theories and practices of which he taught us in social psychology came to me of great help in policing. I would rather say every police officer should learn social psychology, and it is possible from PKB or from a student like Shobha and others. So that came very handy. Third thing is when the National Human Rights Commission asked me to do a national research on human trafficking in 2002, 2004, I went to Justice Verma, who was the chairperson NHRC. I said, I am a police officer. What research shall I do? He said, no, I know you do it. Then he started getting on the research, social science research, with Dr. George Matthew in the Institute of Social Sciences. All the lessons which I learned from PKB came to me of great help. So that, see how a professor can impact a person throughout his life. Lastly, when I joined Tata Institute of Social Sciences as a chair professor after my retirement from the government, I found as a teacher there for 6 years, I brought out a book on rights-based investigation. Professor Parashaman saw the manuscript. He said, I must publish it without editing. I said, no, do that, do that. He was telling me, how did you do this policing without the third degree and torture, etc.? I said, you have to refer to Professor P.K.B. Nayar. He did speak to P.K.B. Nayar and told him, here is a Chela doing all this good job because of you. I said, my credit goes to him. What I try to say is, he's a great mentor, he's a great professor, great teacher, and an institution in himself. I salute him, my homage to him, my respect to the entire family members. Namaste, Jai Hind.
Much. Thank you. Very kind of you to join. Although I know you were traveling and it was difficult, but still you made it. Thank you very much, and we understand your very very personal sentiments that you cherish with Professor P.K.B. Nayar. Thank you, Dr. P.M. Nayar. And now I don't know, Dr. Pradhaban, are you here? Dr. Pradhaban? Hello, Dr. Pradhaban, have you joined? No, I think he did not. Professor Hafiz Muhammad, are you here? I don't. They said they may be able to join. Okay, in that case, it's already 8:23. So now the floor is open in case anyone wants to make a short, brief sharing about Professor P.K.B. Nayar.
Can I come?
Please do. Yes.
Yeah, I am Professor T.V. Shekhar from International Institute for Population Sciences in Mumbai. I heard and the great contributions of Professor P.K.B. Nayar as a sociologist, institution builder, and many eminent sociologists have highlighted his pioneering contribution to Indian sociology and particularly for Kerala. I am talking about his another important contribution. He was the founder president of Indian Association for Social Sciences and Health, IASH. He initiated this organization 25 years back. He realized that health need to be understood at social science perspective. So this association with a multidisciplinary background, it is one of the vibrant professional association now with more than 1,400 life members. He encouraged many youngsters like us who are sociologists also working on the health and population studies to join and strengthen the association. And his contribution as a founder of the Indian Association for Social Science and Health will be remembered forever. In fact, we were having the annual conference of the association at Rajasthan University, Jaipur. That time only we came to know the passing away of Professor Nayar. We had a big condolence meeting arranged there at Rajasthan University where 200 participants attending the conference remembered his contributions to the association. I would also like to say that when aging research and gerontology was not very common or appreciated by Indian academics, Professor Nayar started the Center for Gerontological Studies at Trivandrum, and he's one of his pioneering works in the field of widowhood, women's health, gerontology, aging issues has become very part of that. In fact, in 2014, Government of India recognized his contribution and awarded him the Vayoshreshta Samman, one of the highest honor for in the field of gerontology, and his contribution for age-friendly panchayats in Kerala. It was already mentioned very well. So I would mention not only as a Professor Nayar's works and contribution, not only as a sociologist, but also as a person who really understood the need to understand health studies and health issues from a social science perspective. And starting an organization like Indian Association for Social Science and Health has immensely helped in our understanding our knowledge about various social determinants of health. Let me thank all of you for giving me this opportunity, and let me also convey my heartfelt condolences to family members, particularly to Professor Shobha Nayar, another distinguished sociologist from Kerala, and all other family members. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor T.V. Shekhar. Professor Anthony Pallekar?
Can I?
Yeah, I think so. Professor Ramesh Makwana ji? Of course, of course. You start.
Yes,
I think. Yeah.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Respected President, respected Secretary, and Professor Anthony, and all respected members. Thank you very much giving me this opportunity. Professor Nayar went on to become one of the India's most reputed sociologists and a pioneer gerontologist. Professor Nayar earned high Master of Arts degree with the top distinctions in sociology, economic, political science, economic development, and history. He completed his PhD in sociology at the University of Pittsburgh, USA in 1966. Professor Nayar, prolific writer, he authored several important books and notable scholarly papers. He was founder Kerala Sociological Society, and he also president of Indian Sociological Society. Indian sociologist lost one of its most distinguished scholar with the passing of Professor P.K.B. Nayar on 12 February 2026 at Tiruvananthapuram at the age of 96. Great loss to sociology family. May God bless his noble soul. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor Makwana. Thank you very much. And I think it is time to wind up. Professor Arvinder,
Okay.
why don't you, say your remarks and propose the vote of thanks?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Professor Pallekar, for giving me this opportunity. And I am really, thankful for to you, in fact, for organizing this meeting here so that, sociologists across the country could pay their tributes to our one of the most distinguished member of sociology fraternity, Professor P.K.B. Nayar. Friends, members of Professor P.K.B. Nayar's family, and young students who are here, we are gathered here today with a deep sense of loss to honor Professor P.K.B. Nayar, an eminent sociologist whose life and work left a lasting imprint on the development of sociology in India. And we see that, the reflections which people have shared with us, his students, his colleagues, his contemporaries, are talking about his visionary nature, his foresightedness. When, I look at his work, I find that Professor Nayar belonged to a generation of scholars who had a lot of responsibility on their shoulders, who not only contributed intellectually to the discipline, but also helped building its institutional foundations. As professor and head of Department of Sociology at University of Kerala, earlier at Assam, he shaped generations of students and scholars and played a crucial role in strengthening sociology as an academic discipline. One of his most significant contributions is in the field of social gerontology. Imagine setting up a center for gerontological studies way back in 1983. And now we see the relevance of that center. Now we see that India is experiencing this crisis because India is going to have the highest population of aged by 2030. His understanding, his ability to see and to read the trends in sociology was very important. His contribution to sociology is also significant, where he wanted sociology not to be restricted only onto the classrooms. He was a practicing sociologist. He wanted sociology to intervene, to make a social transformation. So therefore, he devoted a lot of time to research and policy engagement. Through this center, he helped to bring attention to the socio-economic policy dimensions of aging in India and contributed to building an interdisciplinary understanding of the subject. His expertise in gender studies is also something very important to talk about. Many of his colleagues present here have talked about, his interest in women's studies, gender studies, and that reminds me something very significant. Whenever we used to have this seminar on women's studies, many of our male sociologists would feel that women's studies is something which is forte of women, but he was the first pioneer to set up women's studies center in Kerala. He developed sociological networks and institutions. As many of us know that he was a founder of Kerala Sociological Society and also served as a president of Indian Sociological Society, where in recognition to his lifelong contributions to the discipline, he was honored Lifetime Achievement Award of Indian Sociological Society in 2011 at GNU. And that was such a pleasant sight. And his whole personality, peace, calm, that was something which was so significant, so charismatic about his personality. His scholarship, institution building efforts, and commitment to sociological community will remain an enduring part of our disciplinary history. And if I'm allowed to add a personal reflection, I had an opportunity to meet Professor Nayar first time in 2007, when he had invited young scholars workshop in Chennai. That interaction marked the beginning of my own closer engagement with the sociological community and, his mentoring. From that point onwards, we remained in contact, and I started attending Indian Sociological Society conferences regularly and would often meet him in the conferences. And it is in Dharwad when I handed over him the proposal for establishing research committee on minority studies. Actually, earlier it was known as Ethnicity and Minority Studies, and that research committee saw the light of the day in 2014, under the presidentship of Professor Anand Kumar. But Professor Nayar helped me to formulate the proposal. He guided me how to frame the proposal and encouraged the initiative with great warmth in that sense. He was not only a senior scholar, but also a mentor and facilitator, someone who helps younger sociologists find their footing within the discipline. And I have another anecdote to share. In 2007, I accompanied to Chennai with one of my research scholars. Later on, she developed interest in aging and she did her PhD on aged widows. And there we talked about feminization of aging. And Professor PKB Nair was so much impressed in, when she enrolled for her PhD and looked at the phenomena of feminization of aging. Later, I got an opportunity, though I could not publish in the Kerala Sociological Society. He invited me to contribute, but I contributed a different aspect of gender, that was conflict and how conflict impacted women. But I was able to submit a paper and publish in a volume which was edited by Professor Pallikal. And friends, my last meeting with Professor P.K.B. Nayar was this November. I met him, and I'm so glad that I met him when I went to Kerala to participate in a conference, though he was not keeping very well. But when we went to his house, he and his daughters welcomed us with a very sweet smile and the warmth of, his magnanimity. Even though he had a difficulty in hearing, his warmth and kindness were unmistakable. It was deeply moving to see his commitment to the community of scholars, even at that time. I never knew that this is going to be my last meeting with him. And I, when on 12th February, I came to know about his passing away, I was really shocked. I thought that I would have an opportunity to meet him. But this meeting had left a deep impact on me. The generosity of scholar, being a good human being, the calmness in personality is something which is very touching and which left an impact on me. Friends, before I conclude, I would also like to express my gratitude to all the colleagues, students, and friends who have joined this memorial meeting today and shared their reflections. Such moments remind us that the life of scholar continues through the ideas, institutions, and people they have inspired. On behalf of Indian Sociological Society, I once again extend our deepest condolences to his family, colleagues, students, and friends. May his soul rest in peace. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Arvinder Ansari. It was a very, touching, words, a very fitting concluding, note and thanking and vote of thanks. Thank you very much. And I think it's time to conclude. Let me conclude reading out a brief, a very short message that is here given here in the chat box by Srinu, the name is given as Srinu Sociology. I think he is present here. Deeply honored to attend this ISS meeting, paying tribute to the legendary Professor PKB Nayar. His pioneering work in the sociology of aging and social policy remains a cornerstone of our discipline. Heartfelt thanks to the distinguished speakers for sharing his life's work and to ISS for providing such a vital knowledge to young scholars. So that's it. That was our meeting. A very good tribute to Professor PKB Nayar.
And I would like
Thank
to
you.
make one request.
Yes, Professor Aravinder.
Any, some small videos, interviews, or something which they would like to be put on the website of ISS, they are most welcome to share it with us. Small something can be.
Thank you, Professor Anthony, for moderating this session. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Okay. Okay, bye.
Thank you,
Bye.
Professor Arvinder.
Thank you, Professor Sahu.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, Anthony, for holding this meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Shobha. Thank you, Professor Shobha. Yes. Okay.
Thank you. We are very thankful to organize this session in the memory of Professor PKB Nayar. And we are also thankful to the ISS President Sahu and Secretary Arvind Ansari that they have taken a good initiation to remember our old scholars and great scholars. They are a path breaking to us, and they are always a guide to us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Nagla, and for joining, from that far, from the other side of the globe. Thank you very much. Okay. Okay, bye.